All right, it's Tuesday. Good to have you here for the Dave Elswick Show. And next hour, Clint Lancaster will join me. We'll talk a little bit about politics here on the show. It never fails. I put some food in my mouth, and they open my mic. Anyway, give me a moment. I'll be right with you. Okay. I can't talk with my mouth full. I wish I could, but I never learned how to do that. There's some talk show hosts that do that. They sit here and eat 10-course meals while they're on the air, and I don't know how they do it. I've never learned how to do that and be able to do it in a way where I'm comfortable doing it, number one, and number two, being able to do it without spewing food all over the microphone and all over the table or whatever that the equipment is set up on. But anyway, okay, I'm all right. I've got my coffee. I'm sitting here and I'm ready to go. So, Elizabeth Warren, senator from Massachusetts, says that last night Trump called her after she gave a speech. And her speech was a speech about how since Donald Trump has been elected, prices have all gone up, which is absolutely false. It's not true. Prices haven't gone up like they were under Biden. And gas prices have plummeted over the last few weeks, and I'm sure she didn't get into that in her speech. She was given the speech to the National Press Club, and she criticized his record on costs and governance. Quote, "This morning I gave a speech noting how Donald Trump is driving up costs for families, sowing terror and chaos in our communities, i.e. ICE. And the only person that needs to be terrorized by ICE is an illegal alien. If you've got your green card or whatever, you show that to them, they're not going to bother you anymore. They're done with you. And abusing Trump's power to prosecute anyone who criticizes him. That's rich. I'm just telling you, that's really rich when you consider what the Democrats did to Trump during his first time around as president, and then during the 4 years when he wasn't president, and what the Democrats did to Donald Trump, as though that was just, normal treatment. Let's see, how many times did they impeach him? Wasn't it 3 times that they impeached him? He's not found guilty any time. Do you think that they had any kind of goods on him at all? No, they didn't. They were doing nothing but harassing him. And that's what they have done ever since the man came down the escalator to announce that he was going to run for president. They've attacked and attacked and attacked and attacked. So, not only is, full Pocahontas, ignorant about what the president has done, she's absolutely ignorant about what her own party has done. But here's what I think. I think she knows exactly what her party's been doing. I think that she's behind a lot of it. She's worked with people in her party to go after Donald Trump and to get in the way of anything he's tried to do to help our country. So I like that, driving across her families, sowing terror. That happens to be how she feels ICE, what ICE is doing is sowing terror and chaos in our communities and abusing his power to prosecute anyone who criticizes him. I was coming into work today and I was listening to the news, and they said in Minnesota alone, $9 million in fraud, waste, and abuse. for the programs there in the city. That's what they're looking at right now. Overall, with all the states that they're looking at, they threw out a ballpark figure that is anywhere between 10 and 20% of the budget that we spend every year here in the United States. 10 or 20% fraud, waste, or abuse. Unbelievable. I mean, I've known for a long time it was bad. I mean, it's something that we've talked about, that if we get rid of fraud, waste, and abuse, or at least if you could get rid of half of it, you'd have a lot of extra money to put against the debt, or to spend on programs. But the Democrats are too busy buying votes to get reelected or to get elected that they don't have the time to want to talk to the American people about how to get rid of fraud, waste, and abuse. They got upset about DOJ. Now they're really getting upset as they go state to state and start looking at the books. And the books are not pretty. And the books are really screwed up. So I'm going to see how all of this plays out. The left-wing lawmaker delivered the speech at the National Press Club on Monday, and then offered further remarks while responding to questions after the speech. Quote, "In my remarks, I made it clear that despite promising to lower costs on day one, Trump has done nothing but raise costs for families." I'm going to have to go back and go on YouTube and dig up this speech and listen to it, because I can tell you right now it's just a bunch of hooey, as it typically is with her. I mean, this is a woman doesn't know, if she's really American Indian or not. We've done the work for her, and she's not. She says, "I told Trump that Congress can pass legislation to cap credit card rates if he will actually fight for it. I also urged him to get House Republicans to pass the bipartisan Road to Housing Act that would build more housing and lower costs," she said in the statement. Now, I will tell you what I will do tomorrow when we talk to Congressman Hill and we talk to Congressman Westerman. I will personally ask them about the road legislation and what it would do to lower costs, and about capping things like the whole shenanigans about credit cards, because I'm doubting that it really will do what they're saying that it will do. So we'll talk to them about that and why Republicans haven't gone on or jumped on the bus about that. Michael Lucy, founder and CEO of State Armor, a U.S. national security watchdog group, ripped into people over the opposition contributing money to China now and growing espionage foothold inside American homes. So that's something going on as well. President Trump, Senator Warren, had a productive call about credit card interest rates and housing affordability for the American people, a White House official noted. In a post on Truth Social last week, President Trump called for capping credit card interest rates at 10% for a year, effective January 20th. I, as President of the United States, am calling for a one-year cap on credit card interest rates of 10%. Coincidentally, the January 20th date will coincide with the one-year anniversary of the historic and very successful Trump administration, he declared in the Post. During comments at the National Press Club event, Warren said the president has a credibility problem, saying he has not done one damn thing to actually lower the cost of housing for the American people. Well, what does she want done? She says that, and then she doesn't say what we should do to lower the cost of housing. Let me take her back, and let's take a look when we loosened up the loans that you could get for housing and how that bubble burst and, just about destroyed the housing market as we know it. Warren said the president has a credibility problem. I think she has the credibility problem. Her whole thing that she can't, she can't, bring it in front of the American people of what she's done, how much money she's made, and all the rest. The woman is a multimillionaire and has done it on the backs of Americans' electorate. That's exactly the way she's done it. What did people say about the story after they had read it? Trump would sit down with the devil to improve the lives of the American people, but I bet $1,000 that if he backs her bill, the radical Democrats in the House will oppose it. Any takers? For your information, the bank's decision to provide credit cards to illegals is why the costs are so high, so they help make it hurt. So Pocahontas is worth $12 million, and she's talking about poor people, what she's done for poor people, that she voted for all the tax and spend policies of the Democrats, for the Democrat Party for the last 10 years. She didn't stop Joe Biden when his inflation was going sky high. Warren is part of the problem, not the solution to any problem. And then finally, Warren has been in office forever, has accomplished absolutely nothing she just screams about everything, but has never passed a bill to fix anything. So somebody's got her number for sure. But, this is stuff that you can expect that you're going to hear a lot of going into the election this year, into the off presidential year election. And because the Democrats are going to say anything to try to get back in power in the House. All I remind you is think about when the Democrats were in power in the House and what exactly they were doing. They were trying to impeach Trump and things of that nature. They weren't fixing anything for anybody except greasing the skids for themselves. All right, you want to start the new year moving. You don't want to be just sitting around. You want to make sure you're not hurting in your joints, and that's not holding you back. There's a way to get real life relief without surgery, without downtime, and without putting your life on pause. QC Kinetics, who I've been talking about now for nearly 3 years, and more people are using them and finding deliverance from their achy joints, delivers regenerative treatments that actually help your body repair areas that are causing you pain, those achy knees, the hips, the shoulders, the back, wherever it hurts, instead of facing an invasive operation that sidelines you for months. These treatments happen right in the office, and you go about your day. Simple procedures that can deliver big life-changing results. Skip the 3 to 6 months of recovery, and skip the pain, and skip the invasive surgery. Imagine this instead. You're moving better, stronger, planning the year you actually want, all because you took care of the pain the smart way. Game-changing regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics. So call them now for your free consultation. The phone number is 501-817-9516. 501-817-9516. That's a free consultation with QC Kinetics, and when you sit down with them, they'll look at your problem, they'll look at their what they're doing, and they'll tell you if they think that this will work for you. 501-817-9516. Oh, Matt Damon, I think, made himself look like a DA when he was on a podcast with Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. And he was talking about Clint Eastwood. He's worked with him twice in movies as Eastwood as a director. And said that Eastwood had a few choice words for the actor while they worked together on the 2009 docudrama Invictus. That's about the South African soccer club. That's what it deals with. While running down the list of directors Damon worked with, O'Brien admitted he couldn't get a sense of Eastwood's style. I worked with him twice, and the first time was Invictus, Damon recalled. So I was playing a South African rugby player, and that's a really tough accent to do. Damon said he spent 6 months working with a dialect coach to master the accent with little interest from the director. I mean, Clint Eastwood, the director, would be thinking, well, that's just part of the deal of when you take a part, that some things that you do to make sure that you can do the part. So it was a lot of work, Damon said, and I showed up, and I'm ready. It's like my chance to work with, one of my heroes. And Damon continued, the very first time and take, I did it. And meanwhile, I've done this so many thousands of times. I have a number of different ways that I'm thinking of maybe doing the scene. So he goes, cut, print, move on. I go, hang on, boss. I want to do another one. I mean, I wasn't even in costume. That was the first one. Damon remembered that Eastwood quickly responded. He goes, why do you want to waste everybody's time? I went, no, I guess we're moving on. And then, while Eastwood's words may have seemed off-putting, the Bourne Identity actor insisted there was a kindness to his message. He really is a lovely guy. What was really interesting is the second movie I did with him. There was this, it builds to a head with this, a scene with me and this 9-year-old kid, Damon said. The 9-year-old kid was a non-actor, and we had done one take for everybody all through Invictus. We must have done 40 takes with this little boy, and we were trying to get this. It was this kind of huge moment in the film, and we were trying to get this stuff out of him. Clint was right next to me, like we were right next to the camera together, just working with this kid. And then Matt Damon said that his whole mentality was, your crew will go to the ends of the earth for you if as long as you're not taxing them on every shot. When we need to get in there, we get in there. But for the most part, we can be a professional actor, and we show up with something good. We keep the momentum going. So you don't have to take after take after take. In other words, Eastwood couldn't get what he wanted from this non-actor young person, and so he had to coax what he was looking for from this young actor, and finally got it. But it took a bunch of takes to do it. I mean, Damon wasn't even in front of the camera then, and neither was, and Eastwood was the director. And just, finally, he told Damon before, we don't need to, keep doing take after take after take. It's not about your South African, accent is basically what he was saying. So anyway, that's was his story about working with him on a particular movie. All right, coming up here at 9 o'clock our time, the Supreme Court are going to hear oral arguments on transgender athletes in women's sports. I personally don't think this is going to take much for the justices to decide that if you're a man, a biological man, you can't go in and perform against biological women. And that these laws that have gone up in many states about this are going to be found that they're constitutional. Now, I could be wrong, but I think around June sometimes, early on, that's going to happen and get through. Although the justices might make their decision quickly so that they can keep things from getting crazy when they're doing, when they're getting ready to do their state championships and things of that nature. Might as well not give a bunch of, if you're going to rule against this, might as well get it done so that a lot of girls, are denied their medals and their scholarships and then turn around and get their scholarships because of what states have done about, girls' sports and letting boys get into them and get into those sports as well. And, go ahead and I don't know, go back and, you can't relive the win. That's what I'm saying. All right, time for Bill O'Reilly. Let's get to him. All right, back with you on the Dave Elswick Show, but here's the key. When we look at these stories that I just talked about, and it was just short time for each story, you can listen to what Elizabeth Warren says, a senator, and know that she's lying. You can look at, you listen to AP, just as Bill O'Reilly was saying, and you know that they're lying. You look at some of these other people that are speaking, like the lady who's been shot and killed. They said that, she didn't touch the ICE agent. There's a video out now of the ICE agent taking video with his phone, and she hits him with the car. And, you can tell he's been hit because the phone is going all over the place. And then he fired at her car and ended up tragically killing this woman. But let's remember that this lady would not have been in any jeopardy whatsoever if she would not have been breaking the law. She was breaking the law. She was trying to hinder a federal agent from doing this job. And I guess her, quote, husband, the other female that's in the video, is, saying, we change our license daily. And talked about all of that. And none of that, what I've just pointed out, has been reported by the national media. It is there. They refuse to report it. And it's causing problems, serious problems. All right, I told you in the last half hour that Clint Lancaster was going to be here today. He just notified me that something has come up, and he's not going to be able to make it. So just going to be me and you today. And that's all right, because there's plenty of stuff to talk about. We can talk some more about this lady striking an ICE agent, And you have a mayor and you have a governor of a state that are saying what the people are doing is illegal, that the ICE agents, what they're doing is illegal. Not true. They're upholding immigration law that has been passed by the House and the Senate and signed by the President of the United States. And there's some states where they're saying, well, yeah, you did that, but we're not paying attention to it. Well, that's your fault. You're putting your own people at risk. This morning they were out again demonstrating about this lady being killed, and ICE had to drive up and down the road by this center where they're keeping the illegals at, and they were throwing canisters of tear gas out, trying to break up the crowd. Now, tear gas has been around a long time. People bring buckets of water there to the sites that the stuff happens. And so if they get, a canister thrown by them and they get stuck in the gas, they go directly to the water and wash their hands, wash their face, get it off so that they don't succumb to the effects of tear gas. I don't know if you've ever gone through a tear gas attack, but it's not fun. When I was in the military, I did a story dealing with, gases and chemicals and how you got to get your mask on and the whole 9 yards. And that was shown at Commander's Call. I can tell you that you don't realize how disconcerting tear gas can make things for you. You go into a building, you've got your mask on, and they have you sit there and breathe. Stinks as far as the inside of the mask goes. It's a rubber mask, and it doesn't smell real good, especially when you start doing some sweating. And then just before you finish off the training, they have you remove your mask, and they make you sit there, and then you're told to get out the door. And everybody tries to get out about as fast as they can, which slows everything down because everybody crowds up around the door. And it's the worst feeling in the world, man. Your eyes are burning like crazy. Your nose is running. You can't stop it. You're coughing and gagging. Some people lose if they were not smart and loaded up on breakfast before they came to do the training, lose their breakfast there or their lunch, whatever time it is that they go and get trained. It is not fun. It's not fun at all. But they want you to experience what other people are experiencing when they're out, and you're going to, fire tear gas into a crowd or whatever. I have no idea what the pepper balls are like. I can only imagine they're not fun. You've seen have you ever played paint gun, Tommy? You done that? Well, consider you take that little ball of paint, and it's not paint inside of it. It's a chemical laced with, the pepper for pepper spray and stuff. And they're shooting at the crowd, trying to disperse it. And if one of those hits you, I'm going to tell you right now, if it gets on any part of your body, you'll wish that it hadn't. It's not. That's not fun either. I was lucky enough that I didn't have to.
If it's worse than paintball, yeah, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, paintballs sting. All right, I know about that, but I'm just telling you that pepper spray inside a paintball hitting you and exploding, not good. It is really, really nasty. So they're doing what they can do non-lethally to break up these crowds. But a lot of this stuff has been around long enough now that the professional protesters, and that's what some of these protesters are, they're getting paid to go out and protest. And they know what to do to be able to make the tear gas less effective and the pepper spray and all the rest. First thing you want to do when you get home or get where you're going is take all those clothes off that you had on that got tear gas on them. Throw them away. Get rid of them. Put them in a plastic bag, tie it off, put it in the garbage. You don't want anything to do with them because it's not. I've never tried, but I can't believe that you can wash that stuff out where it would have any effect of not allowing the gas to bother you. And I would think the same thing with, pepper balls. The one thing they don't use here in the United States, or at least I'm not hearing them using it, is rubber bullets. I'm going to tell you what, I've not ever had one of those used against me, but I've seen the bruises that they cause. I mean, that's got to hurt. Engel, is he the comedian, says that's going to leave a mark. And that's exactly what happens. All right, let's take a break. We got more stories to take a look at. It's the Dave Elswick Show on a Tuesday. We're off on Friday. I won't be here. It will be Salem programming as we make our final day of moving to our new location over on Rodney Parham over there behind Party City, which will happen over the weekend. And then on Monday when I talk to you, should sound just perfect, but we'll be in a brand new studio. We won't be here in the tower. Right, a break. It's about, I'm looking here, 12 minutes until 8 o'clock. And we'll continue our conversation when we return here on the Dave Elswick Show. We had a caller call in and said that they're still using the rubber bullets. Yeah, I knew they were, but I haven't seen them being used here lately. Basically, tear gas and pepper balls is what they've been using against the rioters. In England, they use rubber bullets a lot. That's what they do. There's a song by 10cc. You remember 10cc? You know, I'm not in love. Yeah, they did that song. They had a song on one of their albums that was called Rubber Bullets and talked about the military and police forces in Europe using rubber bullets to break up, these demonstrations. So I just got to tell you, I can't imagine a rifle shooting a rubber bullet and it hitting you and it not hurting like the dickens. I mean, I've seen pictures of people that have been hit by them, and man, the bruising is extreme. Really, really is extreme. I bet you it feels kind of like you fractured a rib like I've been going through. That's still not over. It's not as bad as it was. I can literally lay on my left side now, but sometimes if I move the wrong way and put too much weight on my left side, it'll wake me up out of a dead sleep still smarts. So anyway, I had a CAT scan done Thursday. I'm hoping today they'll my medical portal that I have with Baptist, they'll send me what they found in the CAT scan and what they're seeing, and if there's any other damage to my side from that fall I took about a month ago now. It's pretty bad when you do something and a month later it's still bothering you. That means that it was deep. I've not seen any bruising whatsoever. So I don't know if that's something was to be expected or not. If you know, call Tommy, my producer. Tell him, is there any time that I'll see bruising? Because look, it's been a month now, and I'm not seeing any bruising at all. But it hurt me. There's no doubt about it. I'm the first one to admit it hurt, and it's carried on with what it did to me. I mean, I had Linda take me to the emergency room the day after because when I woke up that morning, I hadn't slept very well. Every time I rolled over on my left side, it hurt. And it wasn't that hurt of, a sharp pain or a dull pain that just hangs in there. It was neither one of those. It was a pain that felt like a hot poker was inside of me and touching me. It felt like it was burning me. It was something. It was really, really something. All right, Trump's sitting down with members of his administration cabinet, and they're talking about what they're going to do about Iran. And Iran has executed nearly 4,000 people now. Iran plans execution of protester as Trump weighs bombing over crackdown, and President Trump announced a major trade order targeting Iran's global partners. If you do any trade with the Iranians, the president's going to levy a 25% tariff on all your goods. So that'll keep a lot of people from buying stuff from Iran. If they're going to have to, when they buy it, they're going to pay an extra 25% for those goods. Here for the next few minutes, let's talk about Trump has a three-strike option that would aid the protesters and devastate Iran. And believe me, no one is better than our president at putting maximum pressure on foreign governments, and especially on Iran. As protests against the repressive, murderous regime continue, Trump is talking about military options as another means of adding to the dilemmas for Iran's government. On X, on January 2nd, he wrote, "Locked and loaded. The U.S. military always has a list of target options when it comes to Iran," and I'm sure about most of our countries that give us as much heartburn as they can. Operation Midnight Hammer took out just a specific set of nuclear enrichment and weapons design facilities in order to obliterate Iran's ability to race to a bomb. But the B-2 strike of, say, June 22nd, 25, did not go after Iran's underground sites, hiding missiles, the launchers, and fuel production. One act by Iran would bring on strikes for sure. Trump on Sunday said he would hit them at levels that they've never been hit before if American forces are targeted. So here's their three potential options. Missile production. Iran's still building ballistic missiles. Those could be taken out, so don't be surprised if that happened. Space launch facilities. They've got over 30 satellites in orbit, and Russia just launched 3 more for them in December. That's the last thing that we want from a rogue Iranian nation is rogue Iranian satellites. And then they want to destroy their drone production. Iran's infamous drones used to hit Ukraine are made by Shahed Aviation Industries, run in part by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Don't forget that the IRGC is also a big business operation. The IRGC funds terrorism, so their drone business is a legitimate military target. Too bad the drone factory Iran set up in Russia won't be on this list. Any options briefed to the president will come with extensive evaluation of ways to prevent collateral damage or inadvertent civilian deaths. The aim, after all, is pressure on the regime. So those are three things that he could do. Take out the drones, take out missile facilities, take out the space launch facilities for their satellites. So don't be surprised if some of those pop up here over the last couple of next couple of months, and something doesn't happen, especially if the regime continues to, shoot people in the streets. The Trump administration is not going to just sit back and watch that happen. All right, so Americans are being killed in vacation spots as officials issue new travel warnings over rising crime. So where is this that's happening? Well, the U.S. State Department has issued an increased travel advisory pertaining to Grenada due to the risk of crime. The Level 2 advisory was updated January 5th with a warning about violent crime. Americans have been victims of armed robbery, assault, burglary, and rape. In some cases, American citizens have been killed. Police response times are, not quick. It takes a long time for them to get to the scene. Police response times are not as fast as you might expect in the United States. Like, calling them in the morning and they finally get around to talking to you in the afternoon. Grenada lies in the eastern Caribbean Sea. It's part of the West Indies. I know all about it. I was there. Was there when we went in to take care of the Cubans. I was part of the DOD force that made the historic tape recordings of the fighting happen there. It's about 125 miles north of Venezuela. Don't answer your door at your hotel or residence unless you know who it is, the advisory states. Officials are also warning travelers to physically avoid resisting any robbery attempt and to keep a low priority and profile. Travelers are also advised to use caution when walking or driving at night and to stay aware of their surroundings. What I've heard is that if you're somewhere where you're at one of these fancy resorts, they say stay on the resort and do not go out into the general populace. All right, that's it for the first hour of the Dave Elswick Show. Keep those things in your mind if you're thinking about heading out to one of the beautiful resorts on some of these great Caribbean islands. Just remember that getting out into the general populace is different than being on a resort. A break and then more here on the Dave Elswick Show.